Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to my live. And if you don't happen to see that live button right up there, welcome to the replay. And if you are watching the replay, just put in hashtag replay in the comments and let me know that you've been here. Once you hop on this morning, let me know that you're in here. I do use an online platform called StreamYard, and it doesn't tell me who comes in and who is watching. So the only way I know that you're here is if you leave me a comment. So leave me a comment and tell me where you're from, where you're watching from today. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Chalk Couture. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today is how to use some of the Chalk Couture products. Chalk Couture specializes in reusable silkscreen transfers, and I happen to have a size B transfer here. This one is Hello, and it came with the recently released farmhouse door round kit. It isn't available anymore. My apologies, but I just kind of wanted to show you today how the products work and a little different way of using the chalk paste. So this is a reusable silkscreen transfer. So it is a sticky back transfer. And if you clean them properly, you can get about 8 to 12 uses out of them, although many designers get more than 8 to 12 uses out of their transfers. If you've ever made an adhesive decal or a t-shirt transfer out of adhesive vinyl or heat transfer vinyl, you know that you have to weed out these negative pieces. And I do dabble in adhesive vinyl and heat transfer vinyl a bit, and I'm constantly losing the dots to my eyes or the punctuation at the end of the phrases. So with these transfers, anywhere you see this white, that is a silk screen material, and it keeps these little negative pieces together. So you can see that the O right here, the inside of the O stays with the transfer. Because these are reusable, once I clean this transfer, I will stick it back on the backer sheet. So I'm just going to write the name of the transfer. And this one obviously is called Hello. If I'm doing a lot of some projects that require multiple transfers and I'm done cleaning them, this way I know which transfer goes on which backer. It can get kind of confusing when there's different sizes and different transfers out on my counter to get put away. But before we use this transfer, we need to prepare our surface a little bit. And I'm just using a 15-inch door round that I got at my local big box hardware store, home improvement store. And I'm going to leave this part white up here. And then I'm going to do some stripes with our chalk paste down here. So I need to tape off the areas that I'm going to be leaving white. So I'm just going to use this first piece. And I'm just going to eyeball the middle. It's going to be right there. And I'm not a very good eyeballer. And then I'm just going to use a little piece of this tape as a spacer. Oops. So then I'm just going to put other pieces on. And then I'm just going to keep moving this spacer piece. And you can use blue painter's tape. You can use washi tape. You could even use masking tape. But I found that by trial and error, that this frog tape, there's a lot less bleeding involved with your paint with the frog tape. And these don't have to be symmetrical from side to side. We're going to be adding some embellishments to it later, so you won't even be able to tell. Okay, so I'm just going to go on this side now. Once again, if you're just hopping on, let me know you're here. Tell me where you're watching from. And also tell me what your favorite 4th of July food is. When you think of 4th of July, what kind of food do you think of? Are you hamburgers and hot dogs? Do you prefer brats? Is there a particular salad that you have to have or favorite drink? We're going to have brats tomorrow. Probably just some of our favorite snacky foods. I can't believe the 4th of July is already here. Summer has already gone fast. So now I'm just going to rub these down really well. And then I'm going to borrow. Hopefully this doesn't glare too much. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to water down some of our chalk paste to make it more paintable. So I'm just going to get a big dollop in my little paint tray here. Good thing I put that plastic sheet down. So then I'm just going to spray it with some water. And in this case, I have distilled water. So I'm just going to use my multi-tool and I'm going to really thin out this chalk paste so I can make it kind of paintable. If you didn't want to do it this way, you could also just take a baby wipe and dip your baby wipe into the chalk paste and then wipe it on. I wanted to try a little different technique today. So we're just going to get that watered down some more. So I'm just going to keep stirring that. So does anyone have any big plans today? Going to the lake? Going camping? Is your city having a fireworks display possibly this evening? I know some places do it this evening or the day before. I think that's, I'm going to add a little bit more. We're pretty good to go. So I'm continuing to stir the water into this paste just to thin it out a bit. You can even thin this out so much that it's almost a watercolor, and then you can use watercolor paper or any other paper medium like that and literally watercolor with it. Okay. I'm just going to leave that right there. Hopefully it doesn't make a big mess. I'm just going to actually just leave it where it was because it wasn't hurting anything. So I've got a couple of different paintbrushes here. I'm going to try this one right here to see if it's a decent size. So I'm just going to use my paintbrush and I'm going to paint it on kind of like it's an acrylic paint. And because it is chalk based, it's going to dry a little faster than your normal acrylic paint would. How's everybody doing out there? Again, if you hop on, tell me where you're watching from. So Chalk Couture just celebrated its 4th birthday. Actually, it's today the 3rd, so it was on Thursday. They just turned 4, and I actually heard a stat. It's still such a new company that there's only like 20,000 designers in the whole United States, which compared to lots of other direct sell businesses, companies, that's a really low number. So it's a great time to be in the company. I've really enjoyed my time. My chalk anniversary was last month on the 15th. I celebrated my 3rd chalk anniversary. I'm just going to dry this while the tape is on just for a little bit. But I do like to pull most of my tape while the paint is still wet. So I'm just peeling up my tape. And then I'm going to go back in and dry it really good. So far it looks pretty good. There's a tiny bleed spot right there, but that's nothing. Okay, throw that away. Okay, so now I'm going to get my hair dryer back out and I'm going to dry it. Again, it dries really quick compared to acrylic paint because it is chalk based. It's almost dry already. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about not having a line there because we are going to add in some little embellishments there. But I'm going to take my transfer. I am going to put a few just so I can get spacing. Okay. I think we're good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to fuzz my transfer because this is a new transfer and it's going on to a painted wood. I'm going to fuzz it, which means just putting it on a towel or your t-shirt or your jeans just to get some of that sticky covered up, for lack of a better term. The sticky part on the transfer is just going to peel up some of these towel fuzzies. So it's not as sticky. I don't want it to pull up any of my paint or like raw wood or even on glass, it'll stick a lot. So you want to fuzz transfers the first couple of times you use them. Let me do it a couple more times. One more time. And you kind of get the feel for how sticky or not sticky you want your transfer to be depending on the surfaces that you use. I'm just trying to decide. Sometimes I even wax painted wood just so that the transfer doesn't peel up my paint. I think I might. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Hey, Donna. Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing this morning? Have you recouped from your Vegas trip? So I'm just using Chalk Couture surface wax. And what it does is it just keeps the transfer from sticking to my painted wood, and it keeps it from peeling up any of that paint. What are you up to today, Donna? Looks like you had a ton of fun in Vegas. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to buff that in. You're getting all settled into your house, getting all the boxes unpacked. You're going to Wichita. That sounds like fun. So again, I'm just eyeballing this. And actually, an easy way to find the center is I kind of line up the two edges of the transfer, not these edges, but the edges of your silkscreen image. And then I just put a little crease up here in the top, and that kind of shows me where, right up there, where the center of my silkscreen image is, and then I can line that up roughly with the center of my stripe down here. And I don't want to get it too far down here to where when I put my pom-poms on, it covers up. But I don't want to get it too far up here that if I have a bow or anything up here, it's going to get in the way. I think I'm just going to line it up with my stripes. And then I'm just going to gently make sure that it's stuck down by rubbing over the silkscreen areas. Boxes haunt you daily. You know, our moving saga over the last couple of years. We've been in this house a year. I still have boxes that aren't unpacked. Mostly unpacked, but there's still probably a few craft room holdouts that I haven't unpacked yet. And I haven't organized any of my seasonal stuff yet. But we'll get there. Okay, I think that's pretty good down. I'm going to get my other black paste though. So this is the new Creamy Dreamy formula. If you've used chalk paste before, you've had the struggle of it drying too fast in the transfer, and then when you pull the transfer up, it pulls all the chalk paste up. But they've reformulated it so that it doesn't dry as fast. No, this board is actually one that I picked up from one of the local big box home improvement stores. But there is a 16-inch round coming out in the catalog that launches on Tuesday. So I'm kind of excited about that. And it won't be as thick. This one's like 1 inch thick, and the one in the catalog is probably 1/4 of an inch thick. This one that's actually probably a little too thick to be putting on a door. But if you don't have a lot of visitors like we do, it won't be a big deal. So I'm using the angled squeegee just because this is a larger surface area. And I'm just going to dip my squeegee into the chalk paste, and then I'm just going to wipe it on my transfer, kind of like I'm buttering a piece of toast. Slight pressure, but not hard pressure. I just remembered I was going to use a color, but I guess black will work. Whoops. So So again, I'm just making sure that I hit all of the silkscreen areas, being mindful of my edge over here. And now I'm just going to remove all of the excess. Ain't that the truth, Donna? Center is always better. So I'm just removing all of the excess, and I'm trying to remove all of my squeegee lines. If I don't take those out, those will show. They can show in your finished design. Trying to get as much of it back in there as I can. Throw that in there. So now I'm just going to put my lid on. I can see that getting everywhere. And I'm going to wash my hands a little bit. I always inevitably get it all over me. Okay, so now I'm just going to peel off my transfer. And this is a pretty rustic looking transfer. It has very rough edges. So it may look like it didn't cover very well, but that's just exactly how the transfer works. So I'm just going to, I've got my transfer laying over here, and I'm going to wash it when I'm done, but right now I'm just going to spray some water on it just to help in cleaning later. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my hair dryer and just dry this a little bit. Don't forget to hit that like button or even the heart button. And just spread this video all over. Tag your crafty friends in the comments. Like, follow, like, subscribe, all that fun internet, social media stuff. I do appreciate all those that have popped on this morning and those that may watch the replay later. I think that's pretty dry. Okay, now we're going to add some fun stuff. I'm going to get that out of my way. So now we're just going to add these colorful pom-poms in. I made these last night. So I just got to figure out my color combination. I may have to make a few more. Let's see. I wonder if I can get away with just one gray. Does that work? How's that? Okay, so now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun. Moved over. Just making sure that's going to cover. So now I'm just going to take my glue gun and try to find the center. Put a big old dollop of glue down. Just press that down. Exactly, Donna. Share, share, share. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm just going to find the center here. Put a dollop of glue. This yellow one, I think, needs a bit of a trim. I'm just going to trim him up a little bit. Okay, again, find a center. Doesn't have to be, it can be any center. And we'll kind of fluff later. again, find the center. Donna, how's your corner of downtown doing? Have you been to Fuego on the Fay yet? I heard it was finally open. Ooh, that was a big big firework. So apologies if you hear my dogs. They're not big fans. So the next 2 days aren't going to be very fun for them. I'm going to give that one a little trim right now. Okay, so now we'll start on the other side with the pink one. Oops. We'll give that one a good dollop. Oh. When you get it installed, let me know. I'll be over. I'll walk over for that. So now we'll do the yellow one. Have you gotten moved into the new part of the building? Okay, 2 more. Woohoo! You're ready to go. That's awesome. And I have to say, I can't claim credit for this idea. I watched Sage Roberts from Vintage Charm Creations. She did a very similar project to this. She did use the Chalk Couture door round that's coming out on Tuesday. So go like her page, give her all the love. She did a birthday one, but I just wanted to do a general hello one. So I think we've got all those on. I'm covered in blue strings. Oop, I can't see my screen. So there it is. All its little pom-pom glory. So then I'll just add my orientations. I'll just add a hanger up here, and then I'll probably put a bow somewhere. And I do have some greenery. I don't know if I'm going to add any little sprigs of greenery or not. But I'll, thanks, Donna. I will post a follow-up picture that shows it in its completion, but I just wanted to show you a different technique today for using the chalk paste. It doesn't have to be in its natural form. You can water it down and use it in a variety of different ways. And then just add, who doesn't love a cute little yarn pom-pom? So if you don't have no greenery, I kind of agree with you, Donna. I'll probably just add maybe just a yarn bow up here on my wire hanger. And then it'll be ready to hang. You could also just not even put a hanger on it and just set it like in a buffet or on a little shelf. It doesn't necessarily have to be a door hanger. But yeah. So I will hopefully see everybody on Monday evening. I'll probably take the day off tomorrow and spend it with my family. So I hope everyone has a happy 4th. And I will see you on Monday.